Friends, if you want to watch the super hit movie Forever My Girl 2018 in English, then you must like this video. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Friends, in today's video the movie we are going to talk about is called Forever My Girl 2018. We will cover what this movie is about, where you can watch it, and all the interesting facts behind the scenes. I will guide you through the technical department's music pre-production, filming, post-production budget, and box office, along with a concise story overview and a short review of the plot. We will also break down the star cast performances, who played which role, and any standout moments, so watch this video till the end to get everything you need to know about Forever My Girl 2018. Forever My Girl is a romantic drama film directed by Bethany Ashton Wolfe and is based on the novel by Heidi McLaughlin. The movie tells the story of Liam Page, a country music superstar who left his hometown and his bride Josie at the altar 8 years earlier. After becoming a famous singer, Liam returns to his hometown for the funeral of his best friend and is forced to face the people he left behind, including Josie, who has built a life for herself and is raising their daughter whom he never knew existed. The film takes the viewers on a journey of love, redemption, forgiveness, and second chances, showing how Liam tries to reconnect with his roots while dealing with fame, guilt, and his desire to make things right. The technical departments played an important role in bringing this story to life. The cinematography captures the essence of a small southern town with warm lighting, wide landscapes, and intimate close-ups that make the audience feel the emotional weight of each moment. The direction keeps the pace steady, focusing on the relationships and emotions, rather than over-the-top drama. The music is one of the key highlights, as it reflects the country background of the main character and adds depth to the storytelling. Original songs used in the movie were well received by audiences, and some even gained popularity outside the film. The editing is smooth and keeps the narrative engaging without unnecessary subplots. In terms of pre-production, the filmmakers carefully planned the casting, locations, and music integration to ensure the story felt authentic. Filming took place in locations that highlighted the southern charm and provided the perfect backdrop for a heartfelt romantic drama. The production design created a believable small-town setting that complemented the characters' journeys. Post-production involved fine-tuning the soundtrack, color grading, and seamless editing to deliver a polished final product. When it comes to the budget and box office, Forever My Girl was not a big-budget blockbuster, but it managed to perform well considering its scale. The movie was made on a modest budget and achieved commercial success by attracting fans of romantic dramas and country music. It found its audience through word of mouth and performed well in both domestic and international markets. The story itself is simple yet emotional. Liam Page is portrayed as a man torn between his fame and his unresolved past. His journey of rediscovering love and family forms the heart of the movie. Josie, played by Jessica Rothe, delivers a strong performance as a woman who has moved on but still carries the pain of being abandoned. The chemistry between Liam and Josie feels genuine, and their interactions create some of the most memorable scenes in the movie. The daughter Billy is portrayed with innocence and charm, adding another layer to the emotional depth of the story. The cast includes Alex Rowe as Liam Page, Jessica Rothe as Josie, and Abby Ryder-Fortson as Billy. Each actor fits well into their roles and contributes to the emotional pull of the story. Alex Rowe captures the conflicted nature of a man torn between his career and personal life, while Jessica Rothe shines as the strong, independent woman who demands accountability and respect. Abby Ryder-Fortson brings lightheartedness and warmth, making the father-daughter bond one of the highlights of the film. Supporting roles by John Benjamin Hickey as Pastor Brian and other townsfolk add authenticity to the small-town dynamics. In review, Forever My Girl is not an overly complex movie, but it delivers what it promises: a touching love story with themes of forgiveness and personal growth. It is a film for those who enjoy heartfelt romantic dramas, with music playing an integral role. While critics had mixed reviews about its predictable storyline, many viewers appreciated its emotional resonance and the performances of the lead actors. The movie leaves you with a message about second chances and the importance of facing your past to build a better future. For fans of country music and small-town love stories, this movie offers a comforting watch. Forever My Girl is a 2018 romantic drama written and directed by Bethany Ashton Wolfe, adapted from Heidi McLaughlin's novel. The film stars Alex Rowe as Liam Lincoln Page and Jessica Rothe as Josie Molly Swan, and follows a country music star who must face the consequences of choices he made 8 years earlier. The story opens in St. Augustine, Louisiana, where Josie was left at the altar by Liam, a young man who fled their small town to chase a music career. Liam's ascent to fame is sketched quickly as he becomes a successful country singer whose life on the road has traded intimacy for stadiums and management decisions. The inciting event that brings him back is the sudden death of Mason, his childhood friend, and one of the groomsmen from that ill-fated wedding. Liam returns to attend the funeral and expects to be anonymous but is recognized almost immediately. When Liam and Josie meet again, the chemistry is raw and complicated. Josie, who runs a flower shop, has rebuilt her life and harbors deep hurt from being abandoned. It is revealed early on that Josie is raising a young daughter, Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, and that Billy is Liam's child, a fact Liam did not know about until his return. The discovery tests everyone, as Josie must decide whether to protect the child from the pain of Liam's fame and unpredictability, while Liam is forced to confront the concrete consequences of the life he chose. These revelations lead to a mixture of hostility, moments of tenderness, and an awkward tentative bonding between Liam and Billy as he begins to learn what fatherhood requires. Liam's struggles are internal as well as external. He is haunted by guilt about leaving his family and by unresolved grief tied to his mother's death, which the film uses to explain part of his flight from commitment. John Benjamin Hickey appears as Pastor Brian Page, Liam's father, whose relationship with his son is strained by past absences and mistakes, while Peter Camber plays Sam, Liam's manager, who represents the career pressures that keep pulling Liam back onto the road. The small-town characters, including Jake Swan, Josie's protective brother, and various townsfolk, make the town feel lived in and create obstacles and moral pressure that push Liam toward accountability. The film develops these dynamics through scenes in the church, the flower shop, school events, and moments where music overlaps with character reckoning. A turning point comes after Liam bonds with Billy and begins to experience parenthood, yet falters and briefly retreats back to his touring life, thinking he is protecting Josie and Billy from the mess of his world. The narrative gives him time away to realize that running from pain only multiplies it. He revisits an old voicemail Josie left him 8 years earlier, which acts as an emotional reveal about why he left and why he needs to return honestly rather than vanish again. Motivated by remorse and a clearer sense of priorities, Liam chooses to come back for real, attempt honest repairs, and build a relationship with his daughter. The film culminates in reconciliation and a commitment to family, highlighted by scenes where music no longer serves as his escape, but as a bridge between his life on stage and his responsibilities at home. In its final act, Liam and Josie reconcile, and the story resolves with their renewed relationship and family formation. The film closes on hopeful notes that show Liam playing music with Billy at a school event and later integrating family into his career in ways that suggest second chances can be earned. Along the way, the performances of Alex Rowe, Jessica Roth, and Abby Ryder-Fortson anchor the film, giving emotional focus to a story that many viewers found emotionally satisfying. Supporting cast members include Travis Tritt as Walt, Gillian Vigman as Doris, Judith Hogue as Dr. Whitman, and Tyler Riggs as Jake Swan, all of whom contribute to the small-town texture that frames Liam's redemption arc. Forever My Girl is a straightforward redemption romance. It charts a fall from promise, a period of success and absence, and finally a return that insists on accountability and family. The plot stitches together themes of forgiveness, responsibility, and the clash between public life and private obligations, while using country music as both backdrop and emotional language for the characters' journeys. For viewers who want a full-hearted sentimental drama with clear resolutions and familial catharsis, the film delivers a complete story centered on Liam, Josie, and little Billy, and the way a hometown can demand truth and offer healing. Forever My Girl 2018 opens with a quiet image of a small southern town, setting the tone for a story about love, loss, and personal growth. The opening establishes Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, as a woman who has built a life in the wake of heartbreak. We see her running her flower shop, interacting with townspeople, and living a routine that suggests stability yet carries an undercurrent of unresolved pain. Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, is introduced through narration and glimpses of his fame as a country music star. This juxtaposition between Josie's grounded life and Liam's glamorous career immediately sets up the central conflict. A man who left behind love and responsibility must confront the consequences of his choices. The narrative initially unfolds linearly, showing Liam's rise to fame through montage sequences and Josie's life in the small town, slowly preparing the audience for their eventual reunion. The inciting incident occurs when Liam learns of the death of Mason, his childhood friend and groomsman from his failed wedding. Liam returns to his hometown for the funeral, expecting to remain anonymous, but he is quickly recognized, forcing him to confront not only the people he left behind but also the life he abandoned. This moment propels the plot forward and immediately raises tension, creating both external conflict with the town and internal conflict as Liam faces guilt and unresolved feelings. The reunion with Josie is emotionally charged and layered. The audience learns that Josie is raising Billy, their young daughter, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, a fact that adds complexity to Liam's return. This revelation deepens the stakes and turns what could be a simple reunion into a narrative about accountability, redemption, and family. As the rising action develops, Liam struggles to reconnect with Josie and form a relationship with Billy. The narrative explores his attempts to prove he can be a father while still managing his music career. Scenes at the flower shop in Josie's home and during small-town events highlight the contrast between Liam's public persona and private responsibilities. The filmmakers use these moments to develop character depth, showing Liam's awkwardness, humility, and gradual growth. Josie's protective instincts and skepticism add tension, making their interactions emotionally compelling. Supporting characters such as Pastor Brian, played by John Benjamin Hickey, Liam's father, and Jake Swan, Josie's brother, contribute to moral and relational pressure, shaping Liam's path toward responsibility. A key mid-film turn occurs when Liam begins to bond with Billy, experiencing moments of joy and connection that reveal his capacity for love and commitment. However, the narrative introduces a temporary setback as Liam retreats to his touring life briefly, believing that he is shielding Josie and Billy from the complications of his world. This retreat heightens the emotional stakes and reinforces the theme that facing one's past is necessary for genuine growth. The filmmakers choose to reveal important backstory elements and emotional motivations gradually through dialogue and flashbacks, particularly highlighting Liam's unresolved grief over his mother's death and the voicemail Josie left him years earlier. These narrative choices deepen empathy for Liam while maintaining tension and anticipation for his eventual reconciliation. The climax and finale center on Liam's return to fully embrace his responsibilities as a father and partner. The narrative resolves when Liam apologizes and demonstrates commitment to both Josie and Billy, showing that he has learned from past mistakes. Scenes of family interaction at school events and within their small town illustrate the emotional peaks, giving audiences a sense of satisfaction and closure. Music is strategically integrated throughout the film, serving not only as a backdrop but also as a vehicle for emotional expression, reinforcing key narrative beats and character transformations. Narratively, Forever My Girl maintains a mostly linear structure but uses selective flashbacks and reveals to create suspense and deepen emotional impact. Moments like the voicemail, the first recognition of Liam in town, and his bonding with Billy are deliberately placed to maximize emotional resonance. Scenes such as Liam performing music for Billy or reconciling with Josie are not just plot points but serve to underscore the story's themes of forgiveness, accountability, and second chances. The film's narrative choices ensure that while the plot is predictable in broad strokes, the emotional journey remains compelling and the character's growth feels earned. Overall, the plot of Forever My Girl takes viewers on a heartfelt journey from abandonment and loss to redemption and reunion. Key turning points, the gradual reveal of past mistakes and emotional beats like Liam bonding with his daughter create a narrative rhythm that engages the audience while emphasizing the importance of facing the past and embracing family. The film's choices in pacing, character focus, and integration of music make it a clear and emotionally satisfying romantic drama that resonates with viewers looking for themes of love, redemption, and personal growth. Forever My Girl 2018 centers on characters whose growth drives the story forward, with each one defined by desires, obstacles, and transformations that resonate emotionally. The primary protagonist is Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, a country music star who begins the movie as a man running from responsibility and emotional commitment. At the start, he is charming and ambitious but emotionally immature, having abandoned his hometown and his fiancée Josie Molly Swan at the altar 8 years earlier. Liam's initial desire is to maintain his career and lifestyle, avoid personal accountability, and protect himself from the pain of confronting past mistakes. Obstacles for him are both internal and external: guilt, unresolved grief over his mother's death, the revelation of a daughter he never knew about, and the skepticism of Josie and the townspeople. Throughout the film, Liam's character arc is carefully constructed. Subtle moments like his tentative interactions with his daughter Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, or the careful way he begins to apologize to Josie, signal the gradual shift from self-centeredness toward responsibility and emotional honesty. His journey is punctuated by scenes that reveal vulnerability, such as revisiting the voicemail Josie left him years earlier and acknowledging the harm he caused. By the end, Liam achieves a tangible transformation. He embraces fatherhood, reconnects authentically with Josie, and reconciles with his past, demonstrating that he has learned accountability and the value of family. Josie Molly Swan is the central female character, played by Jessica Rothe. At the beginning, Josie is independent, cautious, and protective, particularly because she is raising Billy alone. Her desire is to maintain stability for her daughter and herself while protecting them from the potential harm Liam's return could bring. The obstacles in her path include her unresolved feelings for Liam, her hurt from being abandoned, and the challenge of trusting a man who once betrayed her. Josie's development is shown through gestures and dialogue that reveal her vulnerability beneath her composed exterior. A seemingly casual line or her initial resistance to Liam's attempts at connection illustrates her internal struggle. Key scenes, such as her watching Liam bond with Billy or witnessing his sincerity, showcase her gradual softening and willingness to forgive. By the conclusion of the movie, Josie demonstrates growth through reconciliation and renewed trust, reflecting an ability to balance caution with openness to second chances. Billy and Swan is a catalyst for Liam and Josie's development. As the child of both protagonists, she represents innocence, emotional connection, and the stakes of personal accountability. Her gestures, playful curiosity, and reactions to Liam's presence serve to reveal his gradual change and to test Josie's openness to forgiveness. Abby Ryder-Fortson's performance highlights Billy's role as both a mirror and a motivator for adult characters, showing how her existence pushes the plot and character arcs forward rather than merely serving as window dressing. Supporting characters contribute meaningfully to character development. John Benjamin Hickey plays Pastor Brian Page, Liam's father, whose strained relationship with Liam illustrates themes of family tension and generational accountability. His interactions with Liam provide context for Liam's early abandonment tendencies and eventual growth. Jake Swan, played by Tyler Riggs, is Josie's protective brother whose skepticism and warnings toward Liam underscore the stakes of trust and responsibility. These characters are not simply background, they actively shape Liam and Josie's decisions and emotional evolution. Peter Camber as Sam, Liam's manager, represents the pressures of career and fame, highlighting the tension between professional ambition and personal obligations. Antagonism in the story is largely situational and internal rather than a single person. Liam's past decisions, his fear of vulnerability, and the expectations of those around him act as the primary barriers to growth. This form of antagonism emphasizes that true conflict often arises from personal flaws and choices rather than external villains. The narrative uses relational dynamics to expose these struggles, with small-town interactions, the judgment of townspeople, and moments of confrontation with Josie all serving as mechanisms for character testing and transformation. Key scenes that exemplify character growth include Liam's first genuine bonding moment with Billy, his candid conversations with Josie about past mistakes, and his musical performances that bridge his personal and professional life. Josie's gradual openness and softening are mirrored in small gestures such as allowing Liam to help with Billy or engaging in conversations that signal trust rebuilding. By the film's conclusion, both protagonists have evolved in measurable ways. Liam embraces accountability and fatherhood, while Josie reconciles with her past hurt and opens herself to renewed love. In conclusion, Forever My Girl constructs character development around emotional realism, relational tension, and gradual transformation. Protagonists face internal and external obstacles, supporting characters provide meaningful context, and situational antagonism drives growth. The story rewards attentive viewing by highlighting gestures, dialogue, and interactions that chart the nuanced evolution of love, forgiveness, and personal responsibility. Forever My Girl 2018 features a cast whose performances shape the emotional resonance of the story. At the center is Alex Rowe as Liam Lincoln Page, whose portrayal of a country music star torn between fame and personal responsibility anchors the film. Rowe brings a mix of charm, vulnerability, and emotional depth to the role. Early in the film, he embodies the confident performer persona, using controlled body language and an easygoing charm that masks inner guilt and insecurity. His timing in scenes with Josie and Billy is subtle but effective. He conveys hesitation, awkwardness, and gradual warmth, making his journey toward accountability believable. One particularly strong sequence is when Liam first attempts to connect with Billy, where Rowe's vocal inflections and tentative gestures communicate nervousness and emerging affection without overacting. These quiet moments allow the audience to feel the stakes of his growth. Jessica Roth as Josie Molly Swan delivers a performance that balances strength and vulnerability. She convincingly portrays a woman who has endured emotional abandonment yet maintains composure and independence. Roth's timing in dialogue, her expressive facial cues, and body language communicate Josie's inner conflict and protective instincts. Scenes where she interacts with Liam while simultaneously managing Billy showcase her ability to blend maternal authority with lingering emotional pain. A standout moment is when she watches Liam play music for Billy. Roth's subtle reactions, a shift in gaze, a softening expression, convey forgiveness and cautious hope. Her chemistry with Rowe is a driving force of the film, making the reconciliation arc feel earned rather than convenient. Abby Ryder-Fortson as Billy and Swan provides one of the most memorable and emotionally resonant performances, despite her limited screen time. Her natural innocence and playful energy add authenticity to the father-daughter dynamic and act as a catalyst for Liam's transformation. Fortsun's reactions, gestures, and timing in playful or tender moments help to heighten the stakes for both adults, showing how a child's presence can impact adult behavior. Her ability to convey curiosity, fear, and joy in short bursts makes scenes involving her feel grounded and emotionally compelling. Supporting performances further enhance the film's texture. John Benjamin Hickey as Pastor Brian Page, Liam's father, delivers measured performances that communicate the tension and strain in their father-son relationship. His vocal tone and physical demeanor suggest disappointment and concern without needing melodramatic exposition. Tyler Riggs as Jake Swan, Josie's protective brother, provides a steady presence that amplifies the obstacles Liam faces in regaining trust. Riggs' confrontational yet restrained approach helps frame Liam's struggle as genuine rather than manufactured. Peter Camber as Sam, Liam's manager, offers a performance that highlights the pressures of fame. His timing and occasional exasperation with Liam serve to remind the audience of the external forces pulling Liam back into his former lifestyle. Travis Tritt as Walt and Judith Hogue as Dr. Whitman contribute smaller but meaningful roles. Tritt's presence as a mentor figure provides grounding for Liam's musical journey, while Hogue offers maternal warmth that supports Josie's storyline. Gillian Vigman as Doris adds humor and relatability, creating small breathing spaces in an otherwise emotionally heavy narrative. These performances, while brief, underscore the small-town environment and enhance the authenticity of the setting. Some scenes highlight the cast's ability to elevate written material through subtle choices. For example, monologues or confessions are delivered with attention to pauses, intonation, and eye contact, allowing viewers to absorb the weight of past mistakes and emotional stakes. The interplay between Rowe and Roth is particularly effective in dialogue-heavy scenes where subtext drives the tension. Glances, micro-expressions, and timing of responses communicate layers of emotion that the script alone cannot convey. Conversely, the film occasionally suffers when ensemble reactions feel slightly stiff, particularly in crowd scenes or minor town interactions, but these moments do not significantly detract from the core performances. Overall, the cast of Forever My Girl balances main and supporting roles effectively, creating a cohesive emotional narrative. Rowe disappears into Liam's conflicted persona, Roth anchors the story with strength and nuance, and Fortsun provides charm and emotional resonance. Supporting actors add texture and depth, emphasizing the stakes and environment of the story. Through vocal choices, timing, physicality, and subtle gestures, the performers transform the written beats into living emotion, ensuring that key scenes land with maximum impact and that the film's themes of redemption, love, and accountability are felt rather than simply told. Forever My Girl 2018 is guided by the directorial vision of Bethany Ashton Wolfe, whose approach shapes the film's tone, pacing, and overall emotional impact. From the opening moments, the direction establishes a warm, nostalgic atmosphere that complements the story's small-town setting. Wolfe favors a linear narrative structure with occasional flashbacks and reveals that are carefully placed to enhance emotional resonance rather than confuse the viewer. The pacing is deliberate, allowing the audience to absorb the characters' internal struggles and relational dynamics. Scenes are staged to emphasize intimacy and authenticity. Close-ups capture micro-expressions that convey guilt, longing, or affection, while medium and wide shots situate the characters within their environment, highlighting the contrast between Liam's past fame and the grounded life Josie maintains. Wolfe's direction demonstrates confidence in handling emotional beats. Early scenes, such as Liam's return to his hometown and the funeral of his friend Mason, are staged to balance exposition with subtle emotional cues. The camera lingers on characters' reactions rather than cutting rapidly between angles, which allows viewers to feel the tension and relational stakes. Similarly, interactions between Liam and Josie are framed in ways that emphasize proximity and emotional distance simultaneously. Over the course of the film, the staging evolves to mirror the gradual bridging of that distance. This method of visual storytelling strengthens the narrative and ensures that the audience is engaged with both the external plot and internal character journeys. Wolfe shows a clear stylistic preference for soft lighting and naturalistic color palettes that reinforce the warm and nostalgic tone of the story. Interiors of the flower shop, Josie's home, and small town streets are lit to evoke familiarity and comfort, while subtle shifts in lighting reflect changing moods. For example, scenes where Liam is confronting his past or bonding with Billy often employ softer, warm tones to evoke intimacy and vulnerability. Outdoor scenes in the southern town are wide and airy, giving a sense of space and grounding the characters in a real place. The direction uses these visual choices to reinforce themes of reconciliation and second chances. Music integration is another area where directorial guidance is evident. Wolf works closely with the music department to ensure that songs performed by Liam feel natural within the story, rather than inserted solely for entertainment. Musical performances are staged to reflect both Liam's personal growth and the emotional beats of the narrative. Close-ups during performances highlight expression and vulnerability, while audience reactions within the film provide context and heighten emotional engagement. This interplay between performance and storytelling demonstrates how the director maintains control over tone and pacing. Scene transitions are generally smooth and contribute to the story without distracting the viewer. Wolf opts for mostly conventional cuts with occasional dissolves that bridge time and space, supporting the linear narrative. While the editing is mostly seamless, there are brief moments where the rhythm slows, particularly in some small-town ensemble scenes, which may feel slightly padded. However, these instances do little to undermine the overall flow, and they also provide breathing room to emphasize character reactions or build emotional tension before key turning points. Wolf's direction of actors is notable for encouraging subtlety and authenticity. Alex Rowe and Jessica Roth are guided to convey complex emotional states with minimal overacting, relying on facial expressions, gestures, and pauses to communicate internal conflict. Child actor Abby Ryder-Fortson is given space to react naturally, creating authentic interactions that enhance the father-daughter relationship. Supporting actors are also positioned effectively to contribute to the small-town atmosphere and to serve as narrative foils for the protagonist's decisions. Wolf's approach prioritizes emotional clarity over spectacle, ensuring that the story's heart is always front and center. Some directorial decisions that stand out include the framing of reconciliation scenes, the use of landscape shots to contrast past and present, and the pacing of emotional revelations that gradually unfold throughout the film. These choices heighten audience engagement and allow for investment in character growth. The more questionable moments are minor and mostly relate to filler sequences or slow ensemble interactions, which occasionally interrupt the story's momentum but do not detract from the central narrative. Overall, Bethany Ashton Wolf's direction in Forever My Girl establishes a coherent emotional tone and ensures that character development remains the focus. Through careful attention to staging, lighting, pacing, music, and actor guidance, she creates a film that is intimate yet cinematic, emphasizing themes of love, accountability, and redemption. The confident directorial choices shape the audience's emotional ride, while occasional minor lapses do not diminish the film's overall identity and impact. The cinematography of Forever My Girl 2018 plays a significant role in establishing tone, mood, and emotional depth throughout the film. The visual language of the movie is carefully constructed to reflect both the intimate personal journey of the characters and the broader context of Liam Page's life as a country music star. Cinematographer Ben McBurnett uses framing, camera movement, color palettes, and lighting to reinforce the story's themes of love, accountability, and second chances, ensuring that every shot serves narrative as well as aesthetic purposes. From the opening scenes, the camera work signals a focus on character and environment simultaneously, blending wide establishing shots with tightly framed intimate moments. Wide shots are often used to situate characters within the small town of St. Augustine, Louisiana, highlighting the southern charm of streetscapes, rural landscapes, and familiar community spaces. These expansive frames provide context and contrast for Liam's return from a world of fame, emphasizing the simplicity and warmth of the town against his previous life in large performance venues. For example, shots of the town square, local church, and Josie's flower shop are composed to communicate a sense of belonging and rootedness, visually underscoring the narrative tension between past and present. The cinematography uses scale to reflect emotional distance. In early scenes where Liam and Josie first interact after years apart, medium and wide shots emphasize their physical and emotional separation. Tight framing and close-ups dominate the more personal and emotional beats of the story. Close-ups of Liam reveal hesitation and vulnerability, capturing fleeting expressions that convey guilt, longing, or uncertainty. Similarly, Josie's close-ups allow the audience to read subtle reactions that reveal internal conflict, protective instincts, and gradual softening toward Liam. The cinematography ensures that micro-expressions and gestures are not lost, making emotional beats resonate more powerfully. Scenes with Billy and Swan, their daughter, use close framing to establish intimacy and connection, highlighting the developing father-daughter bond and making audience investment in their relationship immediate and visceral. Lighting choices throughout Forever My Girl are deliberately warm and naturalistic, reinforcing the nostalgic and sentimental tone of the film. Interiors such as Josie's flower shop and home are lit softly to create a sense of comfort and security, while outdoor scenes often employ golden hour lighting to evoke warmth and emotional reflection. Shadows and softer lighting are used strategically to underscore moments of conflict or introspection, while brighter even lighting accompanies reconciliation and moments of happiness. This careful manipulation of light and color supports character development and emotional pacing, making the cinematography essential rather than merely decorative. Camera movement is restrained but purposeful. Tracking shots follow Liam in moments of action or reflection, emphasizing his journey and sense of motion both physically and emotionally. Static shots dominate in dialogue-heavy or emotionally charged scenes, allowing performances to breathe and giving the audience time to absorb nuanced interactions. The balance between movement and stillness mirrors the narrative rhythm, creating a visual flow that complements the pacing of the story. For example, when Liam is performing music for Billy or reconnecting with Josie, the camera's gentle movements and framing underscore intimacy without drawing attention away from the actors. Standout shots include wide establishing views of the town and interiors of the flower shop that capture both character and setting, as well as emotionally charged close-ups during moments of confrontation, apology, and reconciliation. Music performances are filmed with dynamic angles that blend stage presence and personal reflection, reinforcing the duality of Liam's life as both a celebrity and a father. The cinematography also employs thoughtful composition to frame characters in relation to each other and their environment, visually representing relational dynamics, emotional distance, and reconciliation. Color palettes remain consistent with warm earthy tones, soft pastels, and natural hues that evoke comfort, nostalgia, and intimacy. These visual choices reinforce the sentimental tone of the film while supporting narrative themes of family and second chances. The interplay of framing, lighting, and color ensures that each scene communicates mood and emotional context without relying solely on dialogue or plot. Overall, the cinematography in Forever My Girl is both functional and aesthetically compelling. It enhances character development, supports the narrative, and emphasizes emotional peaks through careful framing, lighting, and movement. By balancing intimate close-ups with wide establishing shots and using warm naturalistic palettes, the camera work deepens the audience's connection to the story, ensuring that key moments remain visually and emotionally memorable long after the film concludes. The editing and pacing of Forever My Girl 2018 play a crucial role in shaping the film's emotional resonance and narrative clarity. Editor Heather Persons uses a combination of smooth transitions, carefully timed montages, and restrained cross-cutting to balance character development with the unfolding story. From the opening scene, the editing establishes a deliberate rhythm, allowing the audience to settle into the small-town setting while gradually introducing the central conflict between Liam Page, played by Alex Rowe, and Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth. The pacing favors emotional clarity over rapid action, reflecting the film's focus on romance and personal growth rather than suspense or spectacle. Transitions throughout the film are generally seamless. Standard cuts connect scenes in a linear fashion, providing a sense of continuity that makes the story easy to follow. Dissolves and fades are occasionally employed to indicate shifts in time or emotional tone, particularly in flashbacks or moments reflecting Liam's memories of his past life and relationship with Josie. These transitions are subtle and help the audience track temporal shifts without confusion, maintaining engagement while reinforcing the reflective quality of the narrative. The linear progression is interrupted minimally by brief flashbacks or references to voicemail messages and letters, which are integrated smoothly through soft cross-dissolves and framing that signals a temporal shift without disrupting the flow. Montages are used strategically to condense time and illustrate Liam's rise to fame as a country music star. These sequences accelerate narrative momentum while juxtaposing his glamorous public life with the grounded, slower pace of Josie's hometown existence. By interspersing shots of stadium performances, traveling, and media appearances with quieter images of Josie and Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, the editing underscores the thematic tension between career ambition and personal responsibility. Montages serve not only to convey temporal progression but also to heighten the contrast between Liam's public persona and the emotional journey he must undertake upon returning home. The film's pacing varies appropriately across acts. The first act is measured and deliberate, allowing time to introduce characters, establish relationships, and lay the groundwork for conflict. The second act picks up slightly as Liam navigates interactions with Josie and Billy, balancing moments of tension, humor, and tenderness. Here, editing choices such as intercutting Liam's attempts to bond with Billy alongside Josie's cautious observations help maintain narrative momentum while deepening character development. The third act, focusing on reconciliation and resolution, uses tighter cuts and more frequent reaction shots to heighten emotional impact and create a sense of urgency as Liam confronts his past and commits to change. Restraint is a hallmark of the editing style. Rather than relying on rapid-fire cutting, the film often allows scenes to breathe, using longer takes to capture performances and subtle interactions. Close-ups of expressions, pauses in dialogue, and small gestures are preserved to amplify emotional resonance. Silence is effectively used in several scenes to emphasize reflection, guilt, or connection, giving viewers time to internalize the stakes of character decisions. This trust in restraint enhances intimacy and allows key emotional beats to land powerfully without overdramatization. There are moments where pacing slightly lags, particularly in ensemble or town sequences that introduce minor characters or depict small-town life in extended shots. These stretches slow the narrative rhythm, and while they contribute to atmosphere and world building, they could have been trimmed slightly to maintain tighter momentum. Conversely, sequences that intercut Liam's musical performances with personal interactions are edited to maintain engagement, effectively combining spectacle and emotional storytelling. Cross-cutting is sparingly used but plays a functional role in heightening emotional stakes. Scenes that alternate between Liam on stage and Josie or Billy at home reinforce the tension between public and private life, making the consequences of his decisions visually apparent. The editing ensures that these parallel narratives remain coherent, avoiding confusion and reinforcing thematic resonance. Overall, the editing and pacing of Forever My Girl are carefully calibrated to support character-driven storytelling. Smooth transitions, strategically placed montages, selective flashbacks, and an emphasis on silence and restraint allow the film to balance momentum with emotional depth. While minor lulls occur in extended town or ensemble scenes, the rhythm largely succeeds in keeping audiences engaged, emphasizing relational development, and ensuring that key emotional beats resonate effectively. The editing amplifies performance and narrative clarity, making the story both accessible and emotionally satisfying from beginning to end. The soundtrack and score of Forever My Girl 2018 play a pivotal role in shaping the film's emotional landscape and reinforcing its narrative themes. Music is treated as a narrative device as much as a decorative element, reflecting both Liam Page's career as a country music star and the internal journeys of the characters. The score composed by Nathan Wong provides an emotional through line that complements the story's romantic and redemptive arcs, while licensed country songs and original performances by Liam function as extensions of character and plot. From the opening sequence, the music sets a tone of nostalgia and warmth, immediately drawing the audience into the small-town world of St. Augustine, Louisiana, while signaling the emotional stakes that underlie the story. Liam's performances form the backbone of the film's soundtrack. Songs are staged to reflect his public persona and internal emotional state simultaneously. When Liam first returns to his hometown, the soundtrack contrasts the quiet life Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, maintains with the vibrancy and spectacle of his career. Musical cues accompany his performances with subtle instrumentation and vocal emphasis that reveal longing and regret. In key scenes where Liam interacts with his daughter Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, music shifts from external spectacle to intimate accompaniment, often soft and acoustic, highlighting tenderness and connection. These shifts in style signal changes in Liam's priorities and reinforce the narrative of personal growth. Recurring musical motifs serve as emotional anchors throughout the film. Themes associated with Liam's love for Josie recur during reflective moments, tender interactions, and reconciliatory sequences, providing continuity and enhancing audience investment in the romantic arc. Similarly, lighter melodic cues accompany scenes of small-town life and family interactions, grounding the story in warmth and familiarity. These motifs are repeated strategically, allowing viewers to associate specific musical phrases with characters, relationships, and emotional beats. The deliberate repetition ensures that music is not merely atmospheric but becomes a tool for storytelling, guiding audience perception of narrative importance. The score also manipulates tension and pacing in several critical scenes. Moments of conflict, such as Liam's initial confrontations with Josie or his struggle to connect with Billy, are underlined by subtle variations in tempo and instrumentation. String arrangements or piano lines underscore hesitation and guilt without overwhelming the scene, demonstrating a careful balance between emotional amplification and restraint. Conversely, moments of resolution and intimacy, including reconciliatory dialogue and familial bonding, are accompanied by uplifting harmonic cues that signal closure and hope. Silence is used effectively alongside these musical elements, allowing pauses in the score to heighten tension or focus attention on actor performances, emphasizing that music enhances rather than dominates the emotional experience. Original songs written for the film are interwoven with licensed country tracks, creating a sense of authenticity and blending Liam's personal and professional identities. Performances of these songs are staged to serve dual purposes, as diegetic performances that reflect Liam's career and as narrative devices that communicate his internal transformation. Close-ups during performances, combined with supportive instrumentation and vocal inflection, allow music to carry subtext, revealing vulnerability and reconciliation. Scenes where music punctuates family moments, such as school performances or casual interactions, demonstrate the director's and composer's intent to use sound as a bridge between character growth and audience engagement. There are occasional moments where musical cues risk overplaying their hand, particularly in scenes with heightened emotional dialogue where orchestration could feel slightly sentimental or heavy-handed. However, these instances are infrequent and do not substantially detract from the overall effect. More often, the score and soundtrack lift scenes from good to memorable, enhancing both character arcs and the story's central themes of forgiveness, accountability, and second chances. Musical integration ensures that performances by Alex Rowe, Jessica Roth, and Abby Ryder-Fortson are underscored in a way that amplifies emotional authenticity. Overall, the soundtrack and score of Forever My Girl function as a character in themselves. Through recurring motifs, careful shifts between intimate and public musical contexts, and a balance of diegetic and non-diegetic elements, the music elevates emotional stakes, reinforces narrative themes, and deepens audience engagement. The interplay between sound and story ensures that key moments resonate long after the film ends, making music an essential component of the film's identity rather than a mere accompaniment. The result is a sonic landscape that complements performances, enhances pacing, and makes the film's sentimental and redemptive beats feel earned and affecting. Forever My Girl 2018 is a romantic drama that, beneath its narrative of love and reconciliation, explores themes of redemption, responsibility, forgiveness, and the tension between personal ambition and familial obligation. The film consistently wrestles with the consequences of choices and the possibility of second chances, using both visual storytelling and character interactions to convey its central messages. At its core, the story examines how past actions shape the present and how confronting one's mistakes can lead to personal growth and restored relationships. Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, embodies this thematic struggle, representing the challenge of reconciling public success with private accountability. Redemption is the most prominent theme, driving both plot and character development. Liam's journey from abandoning Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, at the altar to returning years later to face the consequences of his absence underscores the film's focus on making amends. The narrative emphasizes that redemption is earned through consistent effort, reflection, and genuine emotional investment. Moments such as Liam's tentative attempts to bond with his daughter Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, or his heartfelt apologies to Josie, visually and narratively reinforce the idea that reconciliation requires honesty and vulnerability. The film communicates this theme not only through dialogue but also through staging, framing, and music. Intimate close-ups of Liam's expressions, the physical distance or proximity between characters, and musical motifs all echo the struggle and eventual attainment of redemption. Forgiveness is another central theme, explored primarily through Josie's character. Her internal conflict over whether to allow Liam back into her life and into Billy's upbringing represents the difficulty of granting forgiveness after betrayal. The narrative shows forgiveness as an active choice rather than a simple emotional reaction, highlighting the courage and thought required to rebuild trust. This theme is reinforced through visual storytelling, such as scenes where Josie observes Liam interacting with Billy, signaling gradual softening and willingness to reconsider her stance without explicitly stating it. Small gestures, expressions, and context clues provide layered meaning, showing that forgiveness is intertwined with understanding, empathy, and the recognition of genuine change. Family and parental responsibility form another thematic layer. Liam's discovery that he has a daughter he did not know about introduces the stakes of accountability and the impact of one's absence on others. The film juxtaposes his life of fame and travel with the grounded, nurturing environment Josie maintains, emphasizing the responsibilities inherent in family life. Cinematic choices, such as framing Liam and Billy in intimate close-ups during bonding moments or situating them in warm domestic spaces, visually reinforce the theme of relational responsibility. These sequences underscore that emotional and practical engagement with family is integral to personal growth and redemption. The tension between personal ambition and moral obligation is woven throughout the story. Liam's career as a country music star represents freedom, success, and self-interest, while his hometown, Josie, and Billy represent accountability, emotional labor, and roots. Scenes juxtaposing stage performances with small-town interactions communicate this tension visually, allowing viewers to see the contrast between public persona and private responsibility. The film suggests that true fulfillment requires balance, asserting that success is hollow without meaningful personal connections and ethical choices. Love functions both as motivation and thematic reinforcement. Romantic love between Liam and Josie, paternal love toward Billy, and broader familial love create the emotional core of the story. The film explores love as a transformative force, capable of inspiring growth, forgiveness, and self-awareness. Music and performance sequences underscore this theme, with songs reflecting emotional states and relational dynamics, reinforcing that love permeates both action and image rather than relying solely on dialogue. Finally, the film subtly addresses themes of identity and self-realization. Liam's return home forces him to confront the person he has become versus the person he wants to be, exploring how identity is shaped by choices, relationships, and accountability. Visual cues such as mirrors, reflections, and positioning in familiar spaces highlight moments of self-recognition and transformation, allowing the audience to witness internal evolution through cinematic language. In conclusion, Forever My Girl consistently engages with themes of redemption, forgiveness, family responsibility, love, and identity. These messages are communicated through character arcs, staging, visual composition, music, and subtle cues rather than relying solely on exposition. While some narrative moments may appear conventional, the film's thematic resonance is reinforced through consistent visual and emotional storytelling, inviting viewers to reflect on the importance of confronting the past, making amends, and embracing the transformative power of love and accountability. Forever My Girl 2018 is a romantic drama that relies almost entirely on character, story, and setting rather than visual spectacle, so visual effects and CGI play a very minimal role. The film does not contain sequences that demand heavy digital effects, motion capture, or fantastical elements, which means that any VFX present is subtle and primarily used to enhance practical filming rather than draw attention to itself. For instance, minor compositing may be employed to clean up background elements, adjust lighting, or remove unwanted objects from shots, ensuring the environment appears consistent and polished. These effects are seamless and go unnoticed by the viewer, supporting the story without becoming a distraction. Most of the film's visual appeal is achieved through practical effects, real locations, and cinematography rather than digital manipulation. Town streets, the flower shop, Josie's home, and music performance venues are filmed in real spaces, giving the film an authentic, grounded aesthetic. Any minor VFX enhancements, such as touch-ups to lighting, smoothing out imperfections, or subtly extending backgrounds, are implemented in a way that complements the practical elements. The digital work is unobtrusive, preserving the film's intimate and realistic tone, which aligns with the story's focus on emotional connections and character development. CGI is essentially non-existent in sequences that carry the narrative weight. Music performances, family interactions, and romantic moments are staged naturally, relying on actor performances, camera work, and lighting rather than visual manipulation. The lack of noticeable CGI contributes to the immersive experience, as viewers are not pulled out of the story by artificial effects or overt digital flourishes. In the rare moments where compositing or digital correction is used, it serves a purely supportive function, such as correcting continuity errors or enhancing depth of field, rather than creating spectacle. The film's minimal use of VFX also highlights the skill of the practical filmmaking team. Cinematography, lighting, and set design create visual depth and atmosphere that might otherwise require digital augmentation in films with larger budgets or more fantastical settings. By relying on real locations and naturalistic lighting, the production maintains authenticity and emotional engagement. When digital tools are applied, they are carefully integrated, ensuring that the audience remains focused on character interactions, plot progression, and the emotional stakes rather than visual trickery. In conclusion, Forever My Girl demonstrates that a film can effectively convey story, emotion, and aesthetic without relying heavily on visual effects or CGI. The few digital enhancements present are seamless, subtle, and supportive, ensuring consistency in environment and polish without ever drawing attention to themselves. Practical effects, real locations, and thoughtful cinematography remain the primary visual drivers, reinforcing the intimate, character-driven nature of the narrative. By keeping VFX minimal, the film maintains focus on performance, emotional arcs, and the relational dynamics at its heart, making the story feel grounded, authentic, and emotionally resonant. The technical choices in visual effects reflect a disciplined approach that prioritizes storytelling over spectacle, ensuring that nothing in the frame distracts from the film's themes of love, redemption, and personal growth. The set design and locations in Forever My Girl 2018 play a crucial role in establishing the film's warm, small-town atmosphere and supporting the story's emotional beats. Production designer Jennifer Houston and her team carefully balance real locations with minimal set construction to create environments that feel lived in and authentic. The film predominantly takes place in the southern town of St. Augustine, Louisiana, and the choice to use real streets, homes, and community spaces enhances the narrative's grounded quality. Wide shots of local streets, town squares, and familiar public spaces establish a sense of place, while interiors such as Josie Molly Swan's flower shop and her home provide intimate settings for character interactions. Josie's flower shop is one of the most meticulously designed sets, reflecting her personality and lifestyle. Attention to detail in set dressing, including carefully arranged floral displays, rustic wooden counters, and personalized decor, conveys her nurturing nature and creative sensibility. These props are not merely decorative, they reinforce character traits and provide context for her daily life. Small details, like handwritten notes, vintage vases, and thoughtful placement of tools, imply history and routine, making the space feel authentic and lived in. The design allows actors to interact naturally with their environment, which enhances performance and emotional believability. Liam Lincoln Page's environments contrast with Josie's grounded spaces. While his performance venues and music-related locations are depicted with subtle grandeur, the production maintains realism without excessive embellishment. Stage setups, recording areas, and performance spaces are dressed to reflect a professional music career, yet they retain enough natural texture to feel authentic. This balance reinforces the thematic tension between Liam's public persona and his private journey, visually supporting the narrative without overwhelming it with spectacle. Residential spaces, including Josie's home and Liam's temporary accommodations in town, are designed to reflect both character and story context. Warm tones, natural lighting, and practical furniture choices create comfort and approachability, while small decorative touches, such as family photos, books, and kitchen items, suggest backstory and personal history. These details are essential in scenes of reconciliation and bonding, as they provide a believable environment for the actors to inhabit and for the audience to connect emotionally with the characters. Exterior locations also contribute to the film's visual storytelling. Shots of local streets, parks, and town landmarks provide a sense of scale and community, situating characters within a recognizable social environment. The use of natural landscapes such as fields, riverbanks, and coastal vistas not only enhances aesthetic appeal but also reinforces narrative themes of roots, return, and personal growth. These spaces are thoughtfully selected to complement the story's tone, providing calm, reflective backdrops for pivotal emotional moments. The production makes smart use of minimal studio-built sets, relying instead on real locations to maintain authenticity. When constructed sets are used, they blend seamlessly with practical locations, ensuring consistency in visual style and mood. The art direction focuses on texture, color, and props that suggest history, routine, and personality without overwhelming the story. This approach allows actors to engage naturally with their surroundings, reinforcing performances and emotional resonance. Overall, the set design and location choices in Forever My Girl effectively support narrative and character development. Real locations, thoughtfully dressed interiors, and subtle design details create an immersive and believable world. The contrast between Liam's professional settings and Josie's small-town environments emphasizes central themes, while props and spatial arrangements enrich character portrayal. Production design and location selection work together to ensure the film feels grounded, authentic, and emotionally engaging, enhancing both mood and storytelling without distracting from the narrative. The dialogue and script of Forever My Girl 2018 serve as the backbone of its character-driven narrative, balancing exposition, emotional beats, and subtext. Written by J. Mills Goodlow, the script prioritizes naturalistic speech that reflects the small-town setting, the characters' personalities, and the central romantic and familial themes. While some lines are straightforward and functional, many exchanges carry layered meaning, revealing character motivations, internal conflicts, and relational dynamics beyond what is explicitly stated. Dialogue between Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, and Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, often drives the emotional core of the story. Their early interactions are tinged with tension, awkwardness, and unspoken regret, allowing subtext to play a significant role. For instance, Liam's tentative apologies or hesitations convey guilt and longing more than his words themselves, while Josie's measured responses reveal her protective instincts and cautious hope for reconciliation. These moments demonstrate how the script uses dialogue sparingly, letting pauses, gestures, and tone carry emotional weight. Lines that double as thematic markers, such as brief references to commitment, family, and accountability, reinforce the central messages of redemption and second chances without feeling forced. Supporting characters also benefit from well-crafted dialogue that reinforces both plot and characterization. Conversations involving Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, convey innocence, curiosity, and playfulness, which serve to advance Liam's development as a father. Similarly, exchanges with Josie's brother Jake Swan, played by Tyler Riggs, provide obstacles that highlight Liam's need to earn trust, while interactions with Liam's manager Sam, played by Peter Camber, subtly underscore the pressures of fame and public life. These secondary dialogues are generally concise, functional, and character-specific, helping the audience understand relational dynamics and stakes without overwhelming the central narrative. The script also uses silence and minimalism effectively. Many emotionally charged scenes rely on pauses, glances, and reactions rather than verbal exposition. For example, moments of reconciliation or confession are often underscored by sparse dialogue, allowing performances, cinematography, and music to carry the emotional weight. This restraint ensures that the audience is invited to interpret the subtext and internal states of characters, creating a more immersive and emotionally resonant experience. There are occasional moments where dialogue borders on the nose or overly explanatory, particularly in early exposition or in sequences designed to clarify past events. Lines that recount history or detail character decisions sometimes sacrifice subtlety for clarity, which can briefly interrupt the narrative flow. However, these moments are limited and do not significantly detract from the overall effectiveness of the script, as subsequent conversations quickly return to more naturalistic and emotionally layered exchanges. The romantic and familial dialogue often contains warmth and humor, helping to balance dramatic tension. Lines exchanged between Liam and Josie include playful teasing, shared memories, and gentle admonishments that reinforce relational depth. Similarly, dialogue with Billy integrates innocence and curiosity, heightening emotional stakes and emphasizing themes of connection and responsibility. These carefully placed moments contribute to pacing, character development, and audience engagement, ensuring that the script supports both story and performance. Overall, the script of Forever My Girl combines naturalistic dialogue, emotional subtext, and functional exposition to create a character-focused narrative. Conversations reveal personality, relationships, and thematic concerns while allowing pauses, gestures, and silence to amplify meaning. While minor moments of explanatory or on-the-nose dialogue exist, the writing largely succeeds in balancing clarity with subtlety. By letting speech serve both plot and emotion, the script ensures that interactions feel authentic, performances resonate, and the film's central themes of redemption, forgiveness, and love are communicated effectively throughout. Forever My Girl 2018 is primarily a romantic drama with elements of family storytelling, and its execution is rooted in the conventions of the genre while incorporating enough personal and emotional specificity to maintain freshness. The film honors audience expectations of a romantic drama by focusing on character development, emotional stakes, reconciliation, and the tension between past mistakes and present opportunities. Unlike action or thriller genres, the tension is interpersonal and emotional rather than physical, relying on conflicts of loyalty, love, and responsibility to drive the narrative forward. The film successfully executes classic romantic drama beats, beginning with the separation of the central couple and the introduction of unresolved emotional tension. Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, returns to his hometown years after leaving Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, at the altar, creating immediate conflict and curiosity. This setup aligns with the genre expectation of past romantic entanglements resurfacing to challenge characters' growth and choices. The story follows a familiar trajectory of emotional obstacles, gradual reconnection, and eventual reconciliation, satisfying the audience's desire for both tension and eventual resolution. Key moments such as tentative interactions, misunderstandings, and heartfelt apologies are staged to deliver emotional impact while reinforcing the narrative arc expected in a romance-focused drama. Clichés are handled with moderate restraint. While the returning lover trope is central to the plot, the film avoids overuse of melodramatic gestures or contrived misunderstandings by grounding the story in realistic emotional consequences. Liam's professional life as a country music star is integrated naturally into the narrative, providing context and motivation rather than feeling like superficial glamour. The inclusion of Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, as the child character adds stakes and depth without resorting to overtly manipulative sentimentality. This balance ensures the film feels sincere and character-driven rather than formulaic. The family element reinforces the genre while slightly broadening its appeal. Themes of parental responsibility, forgiveness, and reconciliation with past choices add layers to the traditional romantic drama formula. These aspects allow the story to explore relationships beyond the central romance, enriching the emotional texture and giving audience members multiple points of identification. By integrating family dynamics with romantic tension, the film respects genre expectations while offering a fuller perspective on human relationships. Musical performances also provide a subtle innovation within the genre. Liam's career as a country music singer offers both plot advancement and emotional amplification, integrating diegetic music in a way that supports character development and emotional resonance. Music becomes a narrative device rather than mere decoration, which differentiates the film slightly from other romantic dramas that do not blend performance with story in such an intertwined manner. These moments refresh familiar beats by merging professional ambition with personal transformation, deepening thematic content without disrupting the genre's core identity. Certain genre expectations, such as overt romantic comedy moments or exaggerated tension, are deliberately minimized. The film relies on genuine dialogue, subtle gestures, and performance-driven emotion rather than slapstick or heightened melodrama. This choice may slightly diverge from audience members seeking more dynamic pacing or humor, but it aligns with the genre's focus on emotional authenticity and relational realism. The adherence to subtlety in romantic beats, intimate performances, and reflective pacing ensures that the film appeals to fans who prioritize depth and sincerity over spectacle. Overall, Forever My Girl faithfully executes the romantic drama genre while introducing slight innovations through musical integration and layered family dynamics. It satisfies expectations of emotional tension, reconciliation, and character growth, avoids heavy-handed clichés, and delivers a story that feels both familiar and personal. By balancing genre conventions with authentic performances and narrative depth, the film ensures that fans of romantic drama are both comforted by classic beats and engaged by moments that feel fresh and meaningful. Forever My Girl 2018 is primarily a romantic drama, and while it is not overtly political or socially driven, it contains subtle social and cultural commentary that reflects aspects of contemporary American life. The film situates its story within a small southern town, highlighting themes of community, family values, and the contrasts between rural life and the broader entertainment industry. By exploring the differences between Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rose Life as a country music star, and the grounded existence of Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, and her family, the film implicitly comments on the tension between ambition, fame, and responsibility. This contrast raises questions about the cost of personal success and the social expectations surrounding family and relationships. One of the more prominent cultural elements in the film is its portrayal of small-town values and the support systems that come from close-knit communities. The film emphasizes interpersonal trust, neighborly involvement, and collective memory, which serve as both a backdrop and an active influence on character behavior. Scenes set in Josie's flower shop, the local church, and town streets reflect a culture of rootedness and continuity, contrasting with Liam's previously transient and celebrity-driven lifestyle. The narrative suggests that meaningful human connections and accountability are vital to personal fulfillment, framing these small-town norms as culturally and socially stabilizing forces. Family dynamics and parental responsibility are central to the social commentary in the story. Liam's absence from his daughter Billy and Swan's life, and the subsequent efforts to reconcile underscore societal expectations around fatherhood and accountability. The film portrays single parenthood with a nuanced but largely idealized lens, emphasizing patience, protection, and emotional labor. While the film touches on real challenges of raising a child alone, it largely presents resolution through forgiveness and emotional openness, simplifying some complexities of family conflict and abandonment. Nonetheless, it raises awareness of the consequences of personal choices on dependence and the broader social fabric. Romantic relationships in the film also carry cultural subtext. The narrative reflects contemporary attitudes toward love, commitment, and reconciliation, suggesting that personal growth, honesty, and communication are essential for sustaining relationships. Josie's cautious but principled approach to forgiving Liam reinforces ideals of self-respect and emotional boundaries. The film's portrayal of romance and courtship aligns with traditional moral frameworks, reflecting culturally familiar patterns of accountability, trust, and emotional investment. The film largely avoids politically charged issues, preferring to remain within socially safe territory. It does not directly address systemic inequality, economic disparity, or contentious societal debates, which keeps its social commentary subtle and accessible. However, this restraint may render the film less provocative or socially critical than works designed to challenge contemporary norms. By focusing on interpersonal and familial themes, the story communicates values of empathy, reconciliation, and community without delving into structural critiques. Music and performance sequences offer additional cultural insight, reflecting the role of country music as both personal expression and cultural marker. Liam's career is depicted in a way that honors the genre's storytelling traditions while exploring the pressures and public scrutiny that accompany fame. These elements subtly comment on cultural expectations of performers, the commercialization of art, and the balance between professional identity and personal responsibility. Overall, Forever My Girl provides understated social and cultural commentary through its depiction of family, community, and romantic relationships. The film handles these themes with sensitivity and warmth, reinforcing ideals of accountability, forgiveness, and interpersonal connection. While it simplifies certain challenges and avoids broader systemic critique, its commentary resonates within the context of small-town life, relational dynamics, and cultural norms, contributing to audience understanding of values, responsibility, and the consequences of personal choices. Forever My Girl 2018 is structured to engage audiences emotionally from beginning to end, relying on a combination of romantic tension, family drama, and personal redemption to elicit reactions such as laughter, tears, and heartfelt reflection. The film's emotional hooks are carefully placed in both major plot points and smaller character-driven moments, creating a viewing experience that encourages empathy and investment in the narrative. Early scenes depicting Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, returning to his hometown after years away immediately establish curiosity and tension, prompting viewers to wonder how Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Roth, will respond to his reappearance. The uncertainty surrounding forgiveness and reconciliation hooks the audience, making them invested in the characters' emotional journeys. One of the most emotionally engaging sequences is the gradual bonding between Liam and his daughter Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson. Scenes in which he tentatively navigates parenthood, attempts to understand her world, and earn her trust are designed to evoke tears and smiles. Small details, such as shared jokes, missteps, and quiet moments of connection, are likely to resonate with viewers long after the film ends. These interactions also invite discussion among audiences about parenting, accountability, and the challenges of rebuilding relationships, encouraging deeper engagement beyond the surface story. The authenticity of these moments makes them highly rewatchable, as subtle gestures and expressions reward attention to detail. Romantic tension provides another layer of audience engagement. Scenes in which Liam and Josie confront past mistakes, navigate lingering feelings, and attempt to rebuild trust are crafted to provoke strong emotional responses. Moments such as their hesitant conversations, fleeting touches, and emotionally charged apologies encourage empathy and investment in the romance, while also sparking debates among viewers about whether forgiveness is realistic or whether love can truly overcome past betrayals. These signature moments are likely to be gifted or shared on social media, particularly exchanges that blend vulnerability, humor, and longing, making them culturally resonant and memorable. Humor and light-hearted beats also contribute to engagement. Interactions between Liam and secondary characters, such as his manager Sam, played by Peter Camber, or Josie's brother Jake Swan, played by Tyler Riggs, provide levity and balance the heavier emotional scenes. These sequences encourage laughter while maintaining connection to the narrative stakes, enhancing overall pacing and viewer enjoyment. Even minor moments, like playful banter or miscommunications, help audiences connect with the characters and create moments that are easily memorable and shareable. The film also includes highly cinematic and visually appealing moments, such as Liam's on-stage performances, which provide spectacle while deepening emotional resonance. These scenes combine music, performance energy, and character reflection, making them likely to stick in viewers' minds. The juxtaposition of his public persona with private emotional struggles allows audiences to engage with both his artistic talent and his vulnerability, further enhancing rewatchability. Finally, the film's resolution and reconciliation scenes serve as emotional payoff, encouraging discussion and reflection. Liam and Josie's renewed connection, combined with Billy's acceptance, provides satisfying closure while reinforcing central themes of redemption, love, and accountability. These beats reward attentive viewers and spark conversation about character growth, moral lessons, and narrative choices, solidifying the film's lasting engagement. Overall, Forever My Girl leverages romance, family, humor, and music to create multiple layers of audience engagement. Key emotional hooks, memorable interactions, and subtle character moments invite empathy, laughter, and reflection. The combination of romance, redemption arcs, and authentic performances ensures that the film is both memorable and rewatchable, offering moments likely to be shared, discussed, and appreciated long after the credits roll. Forever My Girl 2018 fits squarely within the romantic drama genre, and comparing it to similar films highlights both its strengths and limitations. Its narrative structure, centered on lost love, redemption, and reconciliation, bears similarities to films such as Sweet Home Alabama 2002, The Lucky One 2012, and Safe Haven 2013, which also explore the tension between past choices and present emotional stakes. Like these films, Forever My Girl emphasizes character-driven storytelling, intimate relationships, and the interplay between personal growth and romantic fulfillment. What sets it apart is the integration of a music career as a narrative device, giving the protagonist a professional context that directly influences both the plot and character development, a feature less prominent in comparable romantic dramas. The film borrows smartly from the small-town romance trope, a familiar formula in the genre. The depiction of St. Augustine, Louisiana as a close-knit community mirrors the hometown return motif used effectively in Sweet Home Alabama, creating a believable contrast between the protagonist's glamorous public life and the grounded personal world he must reintegrate into. This contrast enhances narrative tension and allows for both comedic and dramatic beats, demonstrating a clear understanding of genre expectations. Unlike some predecessors that rely heavily on overt comedic moments, Forever My Girl maintains a subtler approach, favoring emotionally grounded interactions and intimate performances. In terms of reinvention, Forever My Girl distinguishes itself by layering familial responsibility onto the romantic plot. While many romantic dramas focus solely on rekindled love, this film adds the dimension of unexpected parenthood, echoing elements found in films like The Vow 2012 or Letters to Juliet 2010, but with a stronger emphasis on paternal accountability. The presence of Billy and Swan, played by Abby Ryder-Fortson, allows the narrative to explore themes of forgiveness, parenting, and legacy, which enriches the emotional stakes and differentiates it from simpler romantic narratives. This addition helps the film engage audiences on multiple levels, offering more depth than formulaic romances that focus only on couple dynamics. Where Forever My Girl occasionally falls short compared to similar films is in its predictability. Certain plot beats, such as the initial tension between Liam and Josie, gradual reconciliation, and climactic confession, follow familiar romantic drama patterns. Films like Sweet Home Alabama or The Lucky One balance these beats with sharper humor or more complex subplots, whereas Forever My Girl sometimes relies on sentimentality and straightforward emotional cues. While the performances and music help mitigate predictability, the overall narrative trajectory is largely conventional, which may limit its impact for viewers seeking unexpected twists or higher dramatic stakes. The integration of music as both a plot device and emotional amplifier is a strength compared to similar films. Musical performance sequences are carefully staged to reflect the protagonist's inner state, allowing the film to explore public versus private identity more effectively than some comparable romances. This approach draws a connection to musical romances or dramas where performance intersects with narrative, such as A Star is Born 2018, though Forever My Girl maintains a more restrained, emotionally intimate tone rather than the high-stakes spectacle of larger productions. Overall, Forever My Girl occupies a clear place within the romantic drama genre, drawing on familiar motifs while introducing personal stakes through parenthood and musical career elements. It borrows effectively from classic small-town return narratives, reinvents certain elements by emphasizing familial responsibility, and leverages music to enhance emotional resonance. Its primary limitations are predictability and conventional plot structure, which slightly temper its ambition compared to predecessors, but the film's sincerity, performances, and integration of professional and personal life offer a distinctive take that holds appeal for fans of the genre. Forever My Girl 2018 uses subtle symbolism and visual metaphors to reinforce its themes of love, redemption, and personal growth. Objects, colors, and repeated images throughout the film carry emotional weight, providing viewers with additional layers of meaning beyond dialogue and plot. One of the most prominent symbols is the flower shop owned by Josie Molly Swan, played by Jessica Rothe. The flowers themselves represent growth, care, and nurturing, qualities Josie embodies and later extends toward Liam Lincoln Page, played by Alex Rowe, and their daughter Billy and Swan. The act of arranging flowers becomes a visual metaphor for healing and bringing order to life after disruption, echoing the larger theme of reconciliation. Music functions as another symbolic layer. Liam's career as a country music singer is more than a profession. It represents his public persona, ambition, and the life he chose away from his hometown. Songs performed throughout the film often mirror his internal emotional state, with lyrical content and tone reflecting guilt, longing, or hope. Performance sequences act as narrative metaphors, showing the contrast between his polished public image and his private journey toward responsibility and authenticity. Color motifs are used to subtly indicate mood and character states. Warm tones in Josie's home, the flower shop, and town streets suggest comfort, stability, and groundedness, while cooler or muted tones in Liam's early return scenes convey distance, uncertainty, and the emotional estrangement between characters. The shift in color palettes during scenes of reconciliation or intimate moments mirrors the character's emotional progress, reinforcing narrative arcs through visual storytelling. Objects related to family serve as recurring metaphors. Billy's toys, drawings, and small belongings are not only part of the domestic setting but also symbolic anchors for Liam's responsibilities and emotional reconnection. When Liam interacts with these objects, the film emphasizes his growing awareness of parenthood and the need to nurture relationships rather than just pursue personal ambition. Similarly, handwritten notes, letters, or personal mementos between characters reinforce memory, accountability, and the lingering presence of past choices, highlighting the film's emphasis on reflection and redemption. The use of physical space carries symbolic weight as well. Josie's flower shop and home are intimate, contain spaces representing emotional safety and personal grounding, while open town streets, parks, or performance stages symbolize freedom, exposure, and the journey towards self-realization. Movement between these spaces visually reflects character transitions, illustrating the balance between personal ambition and relational responsibilities. Overall, Forever My Girl employs visual and narrative metaphors effectively to deepen the story. Flowers, music, color palettes, objects tied to family, and contrasting spaces serve as symbols of growth, accountability, love, and personal transformation. These elements are introduced organically, echoed throughout the narrative, and resolved alongside character arcs, allowing viewers to engage with the story on both literal and symbolic levels. By paying attention to these layers, audiences can uncover hidden meaning that enriches the emotional and thematic resonance of the film. Forever My Girl 2018 is a standalone romantic drama and is not part of a larger franchise or series, which allows it to focus fully on its central narrative without the constraints of continuity or pre-established canon. Because of this, the film does not require viewers to have prior knowledge of characters or events, making it accessible and self-contained. There are no sequels, prequels, or spin-offs to reference, and as such, it relies entirely on the story of Liam Lincoln Page played by Alex Rowe, Josie Molly Swan played by Jessica Roth, and their daughter Billy and Swan played by Abby Ryder Fortson to engage audiences. The absence of a franchise context allows the filmmakers to concentrate on character development, emotional arcs, and romantic reconciliation without needing to build a larger narrative universe. From a production perspective, this standalone status also influences narrative and thematic choices. There is no need for open-ended conclusions or cliffhangers aimed at future installments. The film delivers a complete emotional and narrative resolution, allowing the arcs of Liam, Josie, and Billy to be fully realized by the final scene. This self-contained structure reinforces the themes of redemption, forgiveness, and personal growth, giving the story a sense of closure that might be harder to achieve within a multi-film series where plotlines are deliberately left unresolved for continuity purposes. Although the film is not part of a franchise, it does employ subtle nods and genre conventions familiar to audiences of romantic dramas. The small-town setting, the returning lover trope, and the focus on family dynamics create a sense of familiarity, echoing similar films without relying on prior franchise knowledge. These elements function like Easter eggs for fans of the genre rather than of a particular series, providing recognition and comfort while keeping the story unique and independent. The film's temporal context is contemporary rather than historical, meaning that historical accuracy is not a concern. Production design, music, and fashion choices reflect modern-day Southern life, giving the film authenticity in its portrayal of a small town and a country music career. While the story includes cultural and social elements specific to its setting, such as local community dynamics and music performance norms, these are dramatized to support character development rather than to reconstruct a specific historical period. Overall, Forever My Girl stands as a self-contained work within the romantic drama genre. Its independence from a franchise allows for focused character arcs, a complete narrative resolution, and emotional closure. While it draws on familiar genre conventions and offers nods to similar films, it does not rely on continuity, prequels, or sequels. This approach ensures that both new viewers and fans of the genre can engage fully with the story without needing external context, emphasizing the film's themes, emotional resonance, and character-driven storytelling. Forever My Girl 2018 was produced on a modest budget of $3.5 million and achieved a domestic box office gross of $16.4 million, indicating a strong financial performance. The film's opening weekend contributed significantly to its total earnings, with $4.7 million from 1,115 theaters, securing the 10th position at the box office. The film maintained a steady performance in subsequent weeks, with a 12% drop in its second weekend, earning $3.7 million. This consistent box office presence resulted in a total domestic gross of $16.4 million, a substantial return on its initial investment. In addition to its theatrical success, the film performed well in home media sales. It generated approximately $5.5 million from domestic DVD and Blu-ray sales, further enhancing its profitability. The film's financial success can be attributed to several factors. Its release in January, a typically quieter month for film releases, allowed it to capture the attention of audiences seeking romantic dramas. The film's appeal to fans of country music and romantic narratives also contributed to its box office performance. Despite receiving mixed reviews from critics, with a 24% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the film resonated with its target audience, earning an A grade from CinemaScore. Overall, Forever My Girl demonstrated that a modestly budgeted film could achieve significant financial success through strategic release timing, targeted marketing, and appealing to a specific audience demographic. Forever My Girl 2018 is a romantic drama that offers viewers multiple options for viewing, each catering to different preferences and circumstances. Whether you prefer the convenience of streaming, the quality of a rental, or the cost-effectiveness of free platforms, there is an option that suits your needs. For those who enjoy streaming, the film is available on various platforms. You can watch it on Amazon Video, Apple TV, Fandango at Home, and Plex. These platforms offer the flexibility to rent or purchase the film, allowing you to choose the option that best fits your viewing habits. Renting provides the convenience of watching the film for a limited time, while purchasing gives you permanent access to the movie. The availability of these options ensures that you can enjoy the film at your convenience. If you prefer to watch the film for free, Tubi TV offers Forever My Girl at no cost. Supported by ads, this platform provides an opportunity to enjoy the movie without any financial commitment. It's an excellent option for those who don't mind occasional interruptions and want to watch the film without any additional expenses. For viewers in Islamabad, Pakistan, the availability of these platforms may vary. It's advisable to check local streaming services or digital rental platforms to see if the film is accessible in your region. Availability can differ based on licensing agreements and regional restrictions, so exploring multiple platforms might be necessary. When considering the optimal viewing experience, the choice of platform can enhance your enjoyment of the film. Streaming platforms like Amazon Video and Apple TV offer high-quality video and audio, providing a cinematic experience at home. Renting or purchasing the film allows you to watch it at your own pace, pausing and resuming as needed. Free streaming on Tubi TV is a great option if you're looking to watch the film without any cost, though the experience may include occasional ads. In summary, Forever My Girl is accessible through various platforms, each offering different benefits. Whether you choose to stream, rent, purchase, or watch for free, you can enjoy this heartfelt romantic drama in a way that suits your preferences and circumstances. If you enjoyed this video and would like us to provide reviews of every kind of movie, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.